Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice.
This is Mama Thea of Asli Pure, and when I want to hear the story from the lion and the lioness, I listen to Lion Voice with Ras Kwasi Bonsu.
Greetings, this is Ras Shiloh. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Ras Shiloh said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
Yes, Jah people, this is Michael Shemai representing. I will say, hear the lion voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Alright, listen to me now, people. The lion roar, no dog bark. See? The lion's voice with Kwasi Bonsu. Time right now for the lion to tell his story. See? Listen up.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jah soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's voice. Now put it, I Jalifa said that.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial I represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
I will never stop, hail the Most High. And I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Ras Tafari, Empress Imma said the first. Tell the people about Empress Imma. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with side and me now but think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start mal, but they see their city streets them flood, when the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me now but think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. That's why them no like the light when you smile. That's why them no like how your body curve. The way how you dance get on Babylon nerve. Them no know how the Almighty you serve. Want to be a queen, so a king you deserve. And
what do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The King of Kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's Ruler? Hey yo! Yeah, hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion we come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in a Toronto, straight at
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziro Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own stories. Tonight is an instant classic. We have one of our mighty matriarchs coming out of the E.W.F. joining us tonight. We're going into the history. You know, some podcasts, you're dealing with orators and you're dealing with history. Tonight is one of those podcasts where get your ital snacks. If your pot bubble, make sure your pot well spiced, because tonight we're going into literally the history of a people. And I love to celebrate our Rastafari family who are born and raised on this soil of America. The history of America is unique, and it's vital going to a HBCU, a historically black college and university. You know, I had the opportunity to take an African diaspora class and study about Africans all over the world and their experiences, and I have a love for the experience of Africans born on this soil and that came up within this struggle. We have several testimonies on this channel. Mama Bonita from out of Detroit, Sister Iney, whose family come from, daughter Iney from down in South Carolina. We celebrate the roots of Rastafari right here in America. And for those of us who know the history, we know that the first documented martyr for Rastafari was a man out of Chicago by the name of Grover Redding. And we have to celebrate them man, that James Webb, who said, look to the east for the coming of the universal king. And they hail Tafari of Ethiopia. You know what I mean? Them is some great history. This is 1919 we are talking about, you know. So America and the roots, and I look at it like the parable of the sower, you know. The seed, the soil wasn't as fertile here. Why Rastafari didn't take over black culture here like it did in Jamaica and in the Caribbean, you know, where Rastafari is so prevalent. But the fullness now is that in the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing, now that we are in the information age, where we are going to witness, and we are part of this trend, Rastafari spread like wildfire among the black youths in America, because they can't keep the knowledge of His Majesty from the people, you know what I mean? And that's why we want to document this history. So tonight, we are going to be going into a seminar. This one is one of them seminars. Take out your notepad, especially the sister in them, brethren too. But take out your notepad and just take some notes, because we're going to learn some lessons about repatriation tonight. All of that. E.W.F family, I know that they're coming in. They've been talking about this. This is a legend. So it really feel good. So before we bring forward our guest for the evening, let me take the time to big up the greatest online community on the planet. I'm talking about the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. Big up on yourself. We just created a brand new WhatsApp group exclusive for the Lion Voice Network. Big up everyone who is in there who did not come out. Big up everyone who had to come out too, because sometimes people phone depending on your data plan. You can't be in these whole heap of groups. So I don't take it personal. I know everyone love I. We are creating the group. If you want to be a part of the group and you have my number, you haven't been added, just send I a message. I will add the I to the WhatsApp group. It's admin only can post in that group, and we're going to be posting the links to the shows and updates about the channel, so that the item can get this journey. This is part of the ecosystem, creative ecosystem model that I am championing right now, where we have to be on multiple platforms, you know, diversify across multiple platforms, ways to distribute the content, ensure it's reaching your audience. So big up everyone who's in the WhatsApp group. This is the newest part of the ecosystem. Big up all of the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are getting ready tonight to launch a brand new contest, our challenge. We have a prize package for the next 25 people who join the Patreon at the $10 a month mark. We're going to be doing a raffle. We're trying to end the year strong, because we've been trying to hit 50 people in the Patreon for a couple of years now, and we have not done it. But I feel like we have the strength. We're building up the strength. So we put together a package. I sat down with the royal queen, and she said, throw in your book. I said, my book will give a signed copy. Is part of this raffle package. And we're going to do the raffle live on the air. Signed copy of the book. But But then I said that is not enough. She said throw in some more now. So we said exclusive bookmark to go with the book, and then she said that is not enough. Throw in some more, cause she like when I get generous, you know. So we're gonna have this postal card that comes also very beautiful as a memento postcard come with the book. These are exclusive offerings. You will also get an Empress Menin calendar. Big ups, Mama Scully. So free copy of the calendar. This alone worth the fullness. And then of course, our elder Johnny Johnson donated this beautiful. I have two of these Lion of Judah jackets. Um, that were donated by a Lion Pride member, one of our Ubuntu Lion Pride members, Johnny Johnson, our elder. So we're gonna add that to the package. Next 25 people. So when we reach 25 new people, we're gonna have a raffle. Somebody will win. If it's outside of the country, you will have to pay the shipping, or we'll see. Let me meds on that because I don't want to set up myself. I was gonna just open it to U.S. and Canada, and we may just do that, just to make it easier. Maybe Jamaica, Ghana, true. I go to these places, could work too, but the shipping can get outrageous. So we may just limit that part there. But we'll have more communications on this competition. Let us try to end the year strong. We're on this journey together as a Rastafari Pan African family. We had a history breaking panel with our Trinidad Rastafari family, over 1.7 people on the live, over at 1.7 thousand, sorry, people on the live over the course of the 3 hour mark, which is not huge for a massive channel, but for our little but Talawa channel, it was groundbreaking. And we celebrate over here, we celebrate our victories over here, because we're on the battlefield, we're called to do the work. So it's only His Majesty can give us the victory. And when we see the little victories, we glorify, you know what I mean? So tonight is one of those victories. I've been trying to line up this reasoning for some time, and I want to big up the president of Local 12, attorney Cheryl Murray Powell. Always reach out and give excellent ideas, and we had started this reasoning prior, I and the elder, but the circumstance wasn't good. We didn't get to complete the reasoning. So when Sister Cheryl reached out and gave a suggestion, I jumped because you know, we're doing multiple things. So when we get the inspiration from His Majesty, because I look at these things as His Majesty. His Majesty chooses who He wants to tell their story and when He wants them to tell their story. I just look at myself as a facilitator and an instrument, and I've never not had a guest on a Wednesday, through the powers of the King. So tonight is a special night for I family, and we really look forward. Big up Ramia King Design, big up Frontline Books, big up Ras Woolly, Wally King's Graphics and Design, big up all of our sponsors. I just had a good reasoning with a small Rastafari business owner who's looking to come on board as a sponsor. He saw the Trinidad episode, and so we love it. And all of our small business owners who are Rastafari, come, Mecca and I come together and do, because we know, the brethren say we know what the media means to a free and liberated people, you know what I mean? So anything where we can do to support. And I love that sound, because we do this work, but for the work to be sustainable and for it to scale, because we are royal people, it can't stay at this level. I give thanks to show how it can be done from our house, but we need a production studio, we need staff, we need annual budgets, we need a major media operation. The building of Zion is historic and unprecedented, and we have to be the principal ones who are telling the story from the donga, you know what I mean, from the suburbs, from the high society, you know what I mean, those who are called, you know what I mean, into action to build in this time. It's a glory to see, and I must be the ones to record it and to tell the story from our perspective. So we give thanks for that. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Um, Tonight, I want the Lion Pride in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from, where you're watching from. If you are a member of the E.W.F tonight, let me see some E.W.F powers tonight. I am a proud member of Local 12. Just joined, studied about E.W.F from I was a student at Howard University and studied Malaku Bayan. So you don't know. Tonight is a E.W.F night. So I want everyone give a warm welcome to one of our great matriarchs of the faith. And big up my matriarch, Nana Faraika, because it's through Nana Faraika that I met this powerful angel. And I mean, one of my elder matriarchs here in Washington, D.C. was Earth Strong is coming up. But give us a warm welcome to Empress Imma. Royal greetings, Empress Imma.
Rastafari.
Blessings,
Welcome.
blessings.
Yes, our blessings to the house. Give thanks, Ras Kwesi. Glad to be here. And I'm glad you mentioned Nana Faraika, because
yes,
I would be remiss in my duties if I don't mention one of Nana Faraika's schoolmates tonight that recently became an ancestor. And that is Dr. Rashan Abdul Hakim of Sundial Herbs.
Yes.
So we give honor and respect for all of his works. He was a Maroon, and yes, big up Baba Rashan.
Give thanks,
Yes.
give thanks.
Give
Big up
thanks.
Baba Rashan. The ancestral realm is gaining in its power right now, and it's because of the work that has to be done. A lot of our great elders are joining the ancestral realm. So, you know, we always honor as we do as Africans. But now, I want us to step into the Lion Talk time machine. I want you to take us to the moment of your birth. Where were you born? I want you to paint a picture as the African griots would paint around the fire pit and tell us, you know what I mean, the origin story of Empress Imma, Ethiopia.
So Empress Imma was born in Brooklyn, New York, August 21st, 1947. My father was a returning soldier from the American Army. My parents came out of the South, Nat Turner country. And when my father went away to war, he came from a paper mill town. And the owner of the paper mill told my grandfather that maybe it wasn't a good idea if my father came back, because he didn't go along with the program. So that's how we ended up in Brooklyn at his sister's. So I was born in Brooklyn, Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, in fact. And the first place we lived was Canarsie, Brooklyn, which is now a Caribbean, mostly Caribbean area. At that time, it was called Quonset huts, and they were for the returning soldiers. In 1953 was the beginning of the public housing in New York, the projects, and you were assigned to the projects by your skill. My father was a rigger, so we were assigned to Queens. So I grew up in Flushing, New York, in Flushing, Queens, mostly.
Okay. And what was it like in the 50s, early 50s? This is pre the Civil Rights Act. what was it like growing up as a little black girl in New York in that time?
Okay, so I'm going to say that from kindergarten till 7th grade, I was the only black face in my class.
Wow.
Right. The rest of my class was white. One little Chinese boy after I got to 1st grade. One little Chinese. So I was one in my class. When I got to junior high school, 2. High school, 2 in each class, 2. The rest of the school was white. Right.
Okay. So you were
go to school. I didn't go to school in a predominantly black setting.
Okay.
Until I got to college.
How were you treated as being one of the only black students?
Me fight almost every day.
What?
Me beat up the girls and me beat up the boys. And if I couldn't beat the boy, I got the next I had a next like a brother. I would get him to beat them up. So yeah, nigga. They always had, something to say.
Okay.
And I had something to say too.
So they would call you that sound. They would use that sound against you.
Oh, all kind, nigga, monkey, And the teachers were just as bad. The white teachers were just as bad. Only time I had a black teacher, I think I was in junior high school. Yeah, I was in junior high school, and we had a substitute teacher, and she was black. And I told that class if they gave her any trouble, what I would do to them. And in junior high school, I also, one of my schoolmates who recently passed away was Asada Shakur.
Okay, wow. Yeah. So you went to school with Asada Shakur. What was Asada like in those days?
Well, I'll tell you a little story that when the thing happened with Asada, I was looking in the paper, it was all over the news. It was in the newspapers, And so I got a call from a schoolmate of mine from junior high school. I said, did you see the picture of the Asada person? So I said, yeah, I saw it. So I said, you don't know her? So I said, no. So they said, go to the picture and cover her hair, cover the afro up and then look again. So I did. I went there and I covered up the picture and I saw it's Joanne. Because Joanne wore Shirley Temple curls.
Okay.
Right. And she mentions actually our school in her book. She
Okay.
Parsons Junior High School and some of the people. So yes, and she was a fighter, she was a fighter too.
Okay. So so you were very conscious about race from an early age.
Oh yes, from my father. My father made us know that his great uncle told him that we was from Guinea and that we was Africans.
Okay.
So even to this day, I don't like anybody to call me no Black American because there's really no such thing. So, it's uncomfortable when I hear that. It kind of makes my skin crawl.
Okay, that's a controversial statement now in some quarters here. There's a movement that is not, says that they're not from Africa and that they were always here on this land. How you feel about that? Yeah.
Well, I would say that through trade. Remember, we've had big ships. We had big empires prior to other people. So we were coming here, and then remember some of the earth split up, water moved. So it's the same people. We were all the same people. And if I didn't know that, the very first day I went to Africa, I knew that night. So that story will come up a little later.
Yes.
We're definitely all related.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Black people are the first people on this land from ancient time, but they're still Africans. They still came from from Africa is just when did they get here,
Right.
and then of course with the slave trafficking era, that was the majority, I mean, in terms of the ones that were brought here in bondage, because there were so many. Now, one of the things I want to know from the eye is, when did you decide that you were going to live a conscious lifestyle? Was that something that was from a girl, or were you planning to just go and work? Why did you give your life to the people, and when did that consciousness come up within you?
Well, I think being in school and being one or two in a class, sometimes that puts you on the defensive. So when I was young, I belonged to several organizations. My sister as well, Panthers, Corps. Uh, let's see what else. We had student organizations when I was in college. I belonged to black clubs. We brought people there. I was in the organization. We brought Gwendolyn Brooks, Sonia Sanchez,
What year is
Nikki
this?
Giovanni.
What year
This
is
is so that's in the 70s.
That's in the 70s.
That's in
Okay.
the 70s, right? And in the 70s, yeah, 70s. No, yeah, 70s, because I graduated from high school 1965,
Okay.
and the first college I went to was actually Queens College,
Okay.
and I left there rather fast to have my first child, who will be 60 next year.
Wow.
So that's
Yes.
the first college. So after having two children, I returned to school. I returned to college. So that was 1972. Right.
72. So did you
1972.
did you have knowledge of Malcolm X and those figures? Were you
Oh
following them?
yeah, my father was like I say, my father was a Malcolm X man.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yes.
How did his assassination impact you? The news, when you heard that news?
Oh, that was like, wow. I remember that. I think I was in my junior year of high school, and it was like, wow, my father was really upset and sad, and it's sad. It was real quiet in our house. Wow, yeah, that was really heavy.
Okay. And then the next question is, what was the impact of Dr. King's assassination? I know that started riots all over the country, but in New York, what was the temperature when Dr. King was assassinated?
Okay, so by that year, I think I had just had my second child.
Okay.
And
That's
oh, it was hot.
1968.
It was hot.
Yeah.
I was living in Flushing, a different part of Flushing, but I was living in Flushing then.
Wi-Fi the guy. Anytime we start to get too up in the
Sensitive.
frequency, hold on
Yes, the
there. Hold
frequencies were
on there.
very high, and what would I say? How would I say? Very tender. People were like they were walking on ice. Yeah, it's like that
Okay.
in the
You you
community. Oh,
you
what
cut out
happened here?
you cut out for a second. You cut out for a second. Can you
Did
hear
we
me?
lose me?
I see you.
Yes.
Yeah, I see you.
That's it. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. But
Did we
we
lose me?
no, we didn't hear when
What
you were
happened?
talking about Dr. King. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just let me see
Yes.
how I can.
Just tell
Yeah.
us about the Dr. King story. What it
So
was
I was
like.
saying that for Dr. King, it was the neighborhood.
We go into some serious history, and you
They
see
were
what
breaking in
happened.
stores. At that time they were breaking in stores mostly. So it was very the frequency was very high.
Okay.
Very hot.
Okay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, so forgive us, family. But we're just getting started. We have Empress Imma, former president of the E.W.F, active member of Local 12, sorry. She is also a world traveler, also a Rastafari matriarch in the greatest sense of that word sound. Big up yourself, all the Lion Pride. Tonight we are going on a ride through the history of a people. So let's get forward. So what was you were mobilizing in college? Did you have a nice Afro hairstyle, or were you more low key in your mobilization, or did you go all the way Black Power, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture? What
Well,
was
that
the
time I
vibe?
wore half of my hair in an afro, and the other half was in braids, like cornrows. So, because now remember now, I'm now it's 19 in the 70s, and this is my first two. I have two children, and my parents and my sister are helping me a lot. And the first time I'm going to a school, and it's predominantly black.
Okay.
Oh, what that felt like! I remember it to that day. The first day that I went there, oh, it was like wow. So I had a hard time every day to go home, and that's the truth. I didn't want to go home. I just want to stay there, you know. And during that time, I also began burning cannabis.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So what was your first exposure to the plant? Because you're also a major ganja advocate.
Well, that
Um,
my first exposure actually was in high school,
okay.
and the first time, well, it was very funny. I was paranoid. I was at a party, and it was predominantly white, but I was with
Yes.
a brother, and we went out with this, some it was a whitey's penthouse, and so we outside on the balcony, and this is my first time smoking, and now I feel like I'm ready to what's going on. I'm real paranoid, so I didn't smoke again till till the 70s from that experience, and
Okay.
then uh, you know I kind of just loved it. And really, that's how I really got into the business of the cannabis. Was that I liked it, but I couldn't afford to buy it all the time, so I sold it so that I could smoke it. That's how it first started. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. And then now, in terms of the journey to Rastafari, when was your first awareness of Rastafari?
that too took place in the 70s, in the early 70s. Let's see, I would say really and truthfully 1975, which
Okay.
was which was my first trip to Africa,
Okay.
and it was in Ghana. And some of the uh, ones we were on a school trip from college for a
Okay.
month for the month of July, and we were from all over the world. So you know how you have clusters and you hang out. So my cluster was two brothers were from Jamaica, and a sister from Panama, and another brother from Guyana, and myself. So we were a crew. We smoked, we moved together, So uh, one of the brothers from Jamaica, who later went to the Bobashante camp, um, he talked a lot about His Imperial Majesty.
Okay.
So that was my first exposure. I would say 72. 72. So before the 75 trip. No, before the 75 trip. Still, it's a cluster and of different ones from the Caribbean, mostly man and woman from Yard or from Jamaica.
Okay. And what did you find unique, or what was it that was there a spark then that made you curious, or what
Well,
was
I
the
was, my, okay, so I talked about my father. So my
yes.
mother was an evangelist. She was a
Okay.
church woman. Yeah. And so I grew up in the church. We had to go to church every Sunday. If you didn't go to church, you couldn't go outside. So there were different. I was expected really. I used to do sermons and things in the church, so they thought that I'd become a minister.
Okay.
And so I was curious. I had already been asking questions. So when I heard the concept of man being God, and
Yes.
right, that was the biggest intrigue, was that man being God. So after I put myself around that, then I started investigating a little bit more about His Imperial Majesty, Marcus Garvey. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was the
So
beginning. Yes.
so it was Rastafari that first made you explore that concept, or was it Yeshua growing up in the church, or Jesus concept? What was the what made you explore that concept of the Almighty in man?
The man being God.
Yes.
That was the
Yes.
most thing, was the man being God, and not, and it was something that you could see, feel, and touch. Like, okay, so it was brought to me first that, okay, so how we able to believe in something that you can't see, feel, or touch, but now your next man who you feel, see, and touch, right? Uh, you can't see that as a godly concept, right? So then, like I said, I began investigating, and in college, in my early years, okay, so in the 70s, then let's go to the next college. So the next
Yeah.
college was City College.
City
Yes,
College,
right.
famous.
So
Yes.
in City College, um, I hang I hung out with the complete, was all they were all mostly Jamaicans, headed by Sister Carol,
Okay.
Queen Takia. There were so many of them. Dino, Sister Carol's husband. So we were all college mates in the 70s. I
Okay.
actually,
Big up Sister Carol and the
yes,
whole family. Blessings.
yes. So one of Sister Carol's first shows, we were the promoter of.
Okay.
So yeah, in the 70s, right? In the, yeah, 78, 77, around there. Yeah, 72, 75. Yeah,
Oh,
76, 77, somewhere around there. I remember was the first show with Sister Carol.
okay. And what was your first knowledge, or what was your knowledge of Jamaica and Jamaicans? Was it in Ghana that you
Oh, so
first?
the music. It was the
Okay.
music. It was
Okay.
it was reggae. It was just the whole, like I said, that blackness. That
Yes.
blackness, and they didn't treat me any way. Sometimes you go someplace and somebody call you a Yankee, but right away I would tell them, say Yankee's a baseball team. So and that I wasn't no Yankee. I was from Africa. I thought they was from Africa too. That's what I would say. And so they didn't treat me anyway. They treated me like I'm their sister,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that camaraderie, that love, that's what really sealed the deal, as you would say, that for me
So
was
what
that.
what what year did you start to identify yourself as Rastafari in New York City?
Okay, so around 78,
78.
78, 70. Okay, so 75, 78. 78. Before 78, because 78, 1978, I actually got married in Ghana. So I was
Okay.
already Rasta. Right.
Okay. Okay. So Ghana had an impact. I want to go forward to Ghana. Your first trip as a college student. What was Ghana like in the 70s?
Okay, yes. So 1975. So
Okay.
July was my 50th year anniversary of going to Ghana.
Okay.
So the first time we went, we were 30 students from all over, from 30 students. One was Puerto Rican, one was white, was a pink girl, yeah, and the rest of us, we were black from all over: Barbados, Panama, Guyana, Jamaica, Haiti, from all over. So, and we stayed at the three universities. But I want to tell you the story of the first night. I mentioned
Yes.
before that if I didn't know we weren't all the same or the same people whenever we came, the first night made me know. So we landed in Accra, and a bus came to pick us up and took us to Cape Coast, to the Cape Coast University. So, the first night we celebrating, and, I lost my shoes that night, but we celebrating and we partying. And one of us, right, one of the group who he was a teacher. He was at Boys and Girls High. That night, in the Cape Coast, while some of them have gone into the town and hung out, he ran into a brother that they looked exactly alike. And I mean exactly, except the brother had tribal marks. So when they saw each other, wow. So then he took him home to the village that night, that first night. He took him to the village. And that night in the village, they had a big celebration because they knew this was their family. So they celebrated that now their son have returned home. So now
Wow.
late that night, he comes in with the brother. And we are all sitting there, we're already smoking and we nice up and everything. And we just looking from one of them to the other. And it's like looking at twins. And wow, what an experience. And, it was overwhelming. Now, it was an overwhelming experience for him the whole
Where
30
was he
days.
from? Where was he from?
Okay, where was he from? I'm trying to remember. I don't really remember where he was from. I just remember
Okay.
he was a black belt from and a teacher at Boys and Girls High. I don't remember where he was from,
Okay.
but he had a hell of an experience. Not all positive, but yeah, he had a hell of an experience because we were traveling around. He was overwhelmed by, what he had experienced, and he wanted to share with his family. Right. So he didn't travel with us to the next place. We were on our way to the University of Kumasi.
Okay.
Because we stayed at all three universities that time. We went to, then Burkina Faso was called Upper Volta. So we went to Upper Volta, Benin, Ivory Coast, all in that month. And we stayed, like I said, at three universities. So we
That's
left him.
that sounds like an amazing study abroad program
Oh, it was.
for
And it cost us
1970.
$100.
Wow.
Right. Our student fees took care of the rest of the expenses. So we had meals. It took care of all the transportation, sleep, everything. Anything we spent was outside what we wanted to spend. And the first day when I got there, I'll tell you this, that my suitcase did not come. So I had no clothes that I brought with me until 3 days before I was leaving. So I bought clothes and people gave me clothes along the way. But I want to tell you about the brother's experience is
Yes.
that we left him. We left him Remember I said he was a black belt, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we left him, and we even had some of his bags. His passport ended up with us because he wasn't there when we was leaving. So they left him. The coordinators decided to leave him. So now he decides that he wants to go back to America and get some money from his father, his family. He wanted to bring them all and everything. So now he goes to the airport and he explains to them everything that happened, blah, blah, blah. But, they think he's African gone mad. Right. You got it? Right. So now he's trying to make them know that he's from America. He said he was doing things like Zorro, Z, all kinds of things, the teams, and they really think he's crazy now. So now about 2 or 3 of them tried to grab him, and he beats all 3 of them. Right. Then they chain him to a tree and beat him. So when we come back, we find him in the hospital, and he's now drugged up.
Oh wow!
Right, and a whole different person. And on the way back on the plane, he changed his clothes about 5 or 6 times. And so we're back, and after about 2 days, about 3 or 4 of the sisters, we decide that we're going to go and visit the wife to see how he is. And the wife was so glad that we came because none of the coordinators had said anything to her. And she wondered what happened to her husband.
Oh wow!
Right. So now we explained, everything to her. It took him some time to, get it together. But yeah,
He returned to himself. Did he return to himself eventually?
Yeah, he returned to himself, but he also went back to Cape Coast. He went back to that Cape Coast because of that experience that he knew that was his family. There was no way that wasn't his family. So
wow.
Yeah,
that blew his mind. It blew his
mind.
Right.
It did. It blew their mind too when they found out that all that he was saying was true, because they thought he was just crazy. Right.
Yes. Wow.
So yeah, so that was
this is a blockbuster film, family. We have martial arts already, 2 kick
right.
All kind of things in this story. And we're just getting started. Let's see who is in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching. If you're watching live, we have one of our great matriarchs here with us tonight. We are going into some Ras Tafari E.W.F history tonight. Okay, we have Attorney Cheryl Murray Powell, International E.W.F president, in the chats from early. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Big up yourself, Madam President. Ras Roots, big up yourself. Blessed love and light frequency. Give thanks for His and Her Majesty's name. Big up yourself, Ras Roots. You don't know. Rudolph Crossdale, E.W.F Local 12, up for E.W.F Local 12 in the house. Big up, big up. Ras Roots with the $5 attribution. Give thanks. Welcome, Sister Imma. This is one of our faithful Lion Pride out of Kentucky, a man of the soil as well. Bigging you up. Big up yourself, Ras Roots. Rastafari greetings with perfect love, perfect blessings and love to the lion and lioness voice. Mabel Smart out of Grenada. Big up all our Grenada family tuning in. Sister Cheryl says, a true pioneering Rasta woman. Big up yourself. Sister Cheryl coming in strong with the $20 attribution. Big up yourself, Sister Cheryl, for the attribution. It's time for the lioness to tell their companion stories. It's very true. We need to hear for generations the wisdom, the life lived. All right, so I want to know, in terms of that first 1975, were you Rastafari at that time, or you were just studying? What was the relationship to Rastafari during that
No,
1975?
no, 1975. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Because that came closer to maybe 77.
77, okay.
77,
And what was that
77.
defining moment that revealed yourself to yourself that I am Rastafari? What was that story?
Well, I don't even really remember that moment. I mean, I'm thinking it was just a natural,
Just
because I
studying.
can't say that it was a particular moment. It was just a natural.
Was
And
it trotting among Sister
I remember
Carol?
when I first began, yeah, when I first began to lock,
Yes.
right. Um, the mate I had, he didn't like it. So it was before I got married, though, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, he wasn't ready. Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
at that time, he wasn't ready at that time. So we were, uh, hmm, I'm trying to really remember the exact
We were going into
time
the memory
or
banks
which
tonight.
year, because after okay, so let me say this though. Okay, so 1975 was my first time going to the continent, to Ghana,
Yes, to Ghana.
and I was a student in 1976 when the trip happened again. I was co-coordinator of the trip.
Okay.
Right. I was co-coordinator of the trip, so the trip was different. Instead of we stayed at the university, but we also, I felt the necessity to stay with families, that you spend, a week or so involved with families, those who were mentally able to, because some of them weren't, right. Those could stay on the campus. But we arranged for, them to stay with families. And
Nice.
that was a really, a good experience. And we took 5 children. So that was the first time I took my children to Africa. We took 6 children, and one of the sisters who went on the trip, she took 3 children, and one of her children was mentally retarded.
Okay.
Right, and that was really an experience too of how the whole vibe of Africa, the sun, everything, it just chilled her out. She was just so mellow, and it was very, spiritual, very much high energy. It was mostly, a pretty good trip, right?
Give
And
thanks.
that
Give
from
thanks.
that day, from that trip on, I think we came back from that, I believe I began to move towards Rastafari.
Rastafari. So were
Right.
you among Jamaicans in your early trod of Rastafari? Was that during the Sister Carol time? Or did
Oh yeah,
you,
that's during the Sister Carol time.
so that, were you Rastafari already when you met Sister Carol, or did you Ras among those ones at the college?
I was headed there. I was in it. I
Yes,
was
yes.
in it, right. And so, Melanie, there were, there's quite a few. Some of us have passed, but there's some I still
Call the
see to
names
this
so we can
day.
remember the ancestors. Call the names if you can remember.
Okay, Sister Carol had a sister named Melanie, right.
Okay.
And then there was Queen Takia. So Queen Takia and Sister Carol, both of them sang, right. So that was the first show. And he's not an ancestor. And Brother Shaka, Shaka Tonge, they were the first show, right.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see who else is an ancestor. Hmm. Most of us, okay. Myself. Some of them are in different parts of the world. Some of them have repatriated
Yes,
to Africa
yes.
more than 30 years. Right.
And,
And still living. Yeah, we have one brother. He's still living there in Ghana. He's still living.
were you aware of the mansions of Rastafari at that time? The 12 tribe, the Nyabingi, the Bobo Shanti at that time?
So now let's go a little time. So 1976.
Okay, yes.
75, then 76. I'm trying to think. I think 76. I came back from Africa to 76. So 76 is when I was co-owner of my first store called Boutique Africa.
Okay.
And that time I wasn't married, but my mate, he would go back and forth to Ghana, and I was in the store in Brooklyn. And in
Okay.
fact, one of the elders that just passed away in our community, he went to the what was he into? He was into Egyptology. So he actually was the policeman on our beat. And my mate used to bring him robes from Ghana. And then later on, he became the Ankh man. He was really big, Hete Heru. And so they just recently, this weekend, had a memorial service for him. So from them, that was our first store, 1976, right, in Brooklyn. Yeah, that was my first store. So then that's when Rastafari came full force. It's 1976. I'm remembering now. I'm seeing right. So at the time, like I said, my mate was in Africa and I was here. I was in Brooklyn, rather. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was locking. And, I was really studying and really getting into it. And so was he, but I didn't know he was because he was in Africa. So
Okay.
we didn't really share what we was going through because I remember that the last time they wasn't quite ready, so I didn't say nothing.
Okay.
Right.
Where was he
Right.
from? Where your mate from at that time?
He's from Guyana.
Guyana, okay.
Right. So when so let's say he was gone about maybe about 6 months or so. And so when he came forward, we was both full. We both had locks, and now now is the time I began to really travel into Africa. Right. 78. Like I said, I got married in Ghana in 1978. And then we switched places. Right. Whereas he was in the States and I was in Ghana. Right.
Okay.
So 1980, we go to 1980. 1980, I got sick in Ghana.
Uh-oh.
I was in a coma.
Coma.
Oh yeah, coma. I went down to, well, not sure what weight I went down to, but when I got back here, I was 86 pounds.
Wow.
Right.
What
I remember.
what was the cause? What was the cause? You know the cause? Was it malaria?
Okay, so you want me to give you the list?
Yes.
I had malaria. I had dysentery. I had bleeding ulcer.
Wow.
I had dehydration. Right.
Where were you living in Ghana?
So what you say?
Where were you living? Where in Ghana were you living?
Okay, so then I was living in Achimota, but Achimota is not the Achimota of today.
Yes.
Right. So I had first, okay, so let me say I have been living in Labadi. And then I left Labadi and I moved to Achimota with this couple. The brother was from Guyana. Yeah, he was from Guyana, and I think the sister was from Jamaica, and they had a little baby. So I moved with them because the in the other house it was all men, and I was the only woman. So I slept out
Okay.
on the table. So anyhow, I moved with them, and then where we lived in Achimota, the place was incomplete, and the
Okay.
water, that the drinking water and the water for the toilet were running like, like that. So that's how I got sick. Right.
Oh.
So I went to the police hospital. That couple took me to the police hospital. And I remember sitting in the wheelchair, and that's all I remember. And even till this day, I can't tell you how long I was in a coma because it seemed to me like it was only a couple of days. I remember them saying that she's not going to make it through the night. But I thought they was talking about the lady in the next bed,
Oh
but
wow.
they wasn't. They was talking about me. So yeah, being in the coma, I remember uh, Rastaman being around my bed. I could see them. I thought I was just sleepy and I couldn't communicate, but they say I was in a coma. So I remember ones like from the Ethiopian World Federation, it was Big Dread. But then I was no Federation member either. I was Big Dread was there. Next brother, Jabeti. There's different ones that were there from different, different houses. There was no Bobo Shante there then. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So yeah. So that was an experience, like
So you woke up in America, or they
oh no,
healed
no,
you?
no. Oh, you want to hear that story?
Yeah. Oh, we here. We locked in. We're locked in. We're locked in.
Okay.
Lion Pride. This is a
Okay.
blockbuster film.
Okay, so I was in a coma. I come out the coma. Oh, by the way, then I was eating raw.
Okay.
Before I got sick, I was eating raw. I have been eating raw for a while. Before I came there. Before I came to Africa, then I was eating raw. So the first day they brought me some soup. When this is after I come out the coma, so they brought me some soup and it had a piece of fish in it. So I didn't eat it. Right. Then the next day they brought me this soup, but they took the fish out before they brought it to me. But I could smell it, so I didn't eat that. So this is how I'm counting the days. Right. So that night after no. Okay, so that day the brothers say that they're going to bring me some food the next day. Right. We'll cook and bring you food because, you need to eat and you need some cooked food. All right. So they got me up and they walked me across the room, like diagonally across the room. It took us about 30 minutes holding each arm. One of them holding each of my arms. Right. So then I went back, in the bed. And so I'm getting ready to turn over and go to sleep. And the voice says, don't spend another night here. Right. So I go to turn to see who's there to say it. But I couldn't turn. The body could not turn. So now I stay up. I stay up until the next day when the brothers come. So they come and I tell them I'm leaving. Right. And they say, they laugh. They say, well, eat your food. So I ate my food. I ate the food. And then they said, oh, has the doctor been in to see you today? I said, no, not yet, but I'm leaving. Right. So they said that they would wait in the car for me for 30 minutes. If I could make it to the car, then, oh, wow. Then I could go. They would take me. Well, I ran down the hallway past them. I ran down the hallway past the nurses. And I was at the car waiting for them when they got there. The nurses was out in the hallway with their mouths down, holding down because and so was them brothers, because they said, well, yesterday you could hardly even walk. So that was
So where
why.
did the strength come from? That was a divine strength.
Yeah, yeah. So it got me out of there, and I went to Labadi. Now, mind you, I don't want the battery to die. Just give me 2 minutes to plug it in, okay?
Yes.
I don't want it to die.
Family, we have a legend
Right
here, Royal Empress Imma. So far, we have martial arts in the story. A man get karate. We have coma. I didn't know we were going into coma. In the
Oh yeah,
story,
coma.
we have this is a journey. This is really a journey, and we are blessed to have such an esteemed elder here. If you want to support the platform, there is a $sign above the comment section. Feel free to leave a attribution. We have Sister Cheryl so far with the $20. We give thanks. Ras Roots coming in with the $5 attribution. Give thanks. All Lion Pride. This is why we do this, is to get these type of epic stories. So let us.
Okay, so
all right, continue.
So the American government had been sending messages to my family saying, near death, wishes to return home. I didn't send no messages, nothing. And what had happened is, okay, so when I got sick, when they were taking me, they took me to the embassy first before we went to the hospital. They took me to the American embassy, which I was too weak to fight them. I told them, say, don't take me there. I didn't want to go to the hospital, but probably that saved my life.
Yes.
Right. So, and as they got to the hospital and I'm sitting in the wheelchair, like I said, the last thing I remembered two things. I remember the two of them running, and then I remember just that I passed out. And when I woke up again, I was out of the coma. So I don't know how long the whole thing took.
Wow.
And before I could ask Big Dread, because he was there, he became an ancestor. So I was involved in the early E.W.F through that, because in the early days, all Rasta, we all lived in one house, right? And there was no tribes. We were Rasta from different places. And I slept out on the carpenter's table because I was the only woman. So the men slept inside. And what led us to spread out was because of herb run-ins, that all of us couldn't live in one house, because if all of us got arrested, then who's going to get us out? So we started to spread out, right? I remember in the early days, I remember Daddy Bosco. You know Daddy Bosco?
Yes, we've had him on this platform.
Yeah. Yes, Daddy Bosco was a school youth. He was a youth in school. I'm Daddy Bosco's godmother. So
okay.
he used to come to us, and we stayed at another brother's house in the 70s, Wanta, which that yard became the 12 tribes of Israel yard. Right.
Okay.
But in the beginning, we were all Rasta, all one Rastafari.
What was the reception of Rastafari in Ghana at that time? Ghana's very Rastafari friendly now, but in those early days,
every corner you hear 7 miles of Black Star Liner. You hear Burning Spear, you hear Peter Tosh, you hear Bob Marley. Yeah, that's all you hear. That's every corner. And they used to have these little places in the community where you go to smoke. Okay. And that's where we gather, and they play the music. And then anywhere you go, they're hollering. If it's not Rasta, or Bob Marley, It's Rasti. And when Bob Marley transitioned, they had funeral coffins. It was a big thing in Ghana when Bob Marley made his transition. Whoa.
Okay.
I
Wow.
never saw anything like that.
Wow.
And I would also say that I never saw Christianity until I went to Africa.
Okay. So explain that.
Well, you see, in America, I used to seeing a white Jesus, but it's white, a lot of white people. Now I'm seeing all these white Jesus, and it's all black people. That's like, wow. And uh, somebody's selling pictures of Jesus. Maybe it's about 12 different pictures. And so I would ask them, so which one is the Jesus? They all look alike, you know. And then when I would say that he's black, oh boy, we would really, get into it. Sometimes the discussions could get rather vocal, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
we would also remember or be reminded that we was outnumbered, so we better be quiet. Right, don't be so. But there was a brother from he was either from Martinique or Paris. I think he was from Martinique. I used to always have to tell him, be quiet, you're gonna get us jumped. There's only two of us. Come on. And maybe he'd be in a crowd and he'd really tell him about that white Jesus. So yeah, the early days. So the early days in Ghana, there was no Western Union. There was
Yes.
no Western Union. There was, when you make a call, you have to come in and reserve a call for 2 weeks later. Right. And
Wow.
then when you come in 2 weeks later, the phone line is down. Right. And you had to get money through the bank. So you was on your own. Right. But we really relied on each other. Whoever had them, it might be 12 or 13 of us. But when money come to one, money came to all. Right. So we shared, we all ate. I was spoiled. I was the only woman, so they didn't let me do nothing except I had to grate the coconuts. That's it. So yeah, I didn't even want to wash my clothes. Nothing. I was spoiled. I loved it. I loved those odds. It was really nice, and they treated me like a queen. I was the queen. I was
Yes,
the queen of the posse.
Were there any other Rastafari women in Ghana at that time?
No.
So you were the first.
Yeah, there was no other. There was no other. I was the first that. Yeah, there was none. There was none. Not one.
So you hear that, family?
And there was maybe it was only like 2 or 3 Rasta men from Ghana at that time.
Okay.
Right.
So you saw the early evolution of Rastafari in Ghana. You are a witness.
Oh yes. So I've
That is
been there for 3 coups. I've been in Ghana for 3 coups. I was there when Rollins was a soldier. So one of the brothers, one of the Rasta brothers, who became the first Bobo priest from Ghana, Priest Zebi, his father was in the military. So we go to the military camp and hang out with Jerry Rollins. He was a lieutenant, a flight lieutenant. He was about as big as a pencil, right? And so I was there for different coups, 3 different coups. Bouzier, let's see.
so you knew Jerry Rollins? Did he remember you?
Oh yes. Oh, I knew Jerry Rollins before he had any wife, before he was married, before he was, yeah. We used to go there and hang out in the army barracks.
Wow. So did you get a chance to interact with him as president?
No, I haven't. Okay, so no, I didn't interact with him after he became president. No.
Okay, okay. So this history, this early Ghana, because Ghana has a very large Rastafari community now. Um, but you saw the early genesis of the community. I hear about Big Dread. Daddy Bosco spoke about him on his episode. He was from Jamaica. Um, give us some history about Big Dread. Who was Big Dread?
Okay, so before Big Dread came, right, there were three brothers that came from Local 3 in England. They was it was one was named Jabeti I, one was named Wooldy I. Oh, and the other one was named Tekla. So Tekla now lives in Barbados, but he eventually came to the States too. The other two, one Jabeti I, he ended up going to Jamaica from there, and I think Wooldy I went to Sierra Leone. Right. So they were there after they came. Big Dread came maybe like a year later. So when he came, the E.W.F became more organized. I wasn't a member of the federation at that time, but
Okay.
they would give dances, parties, play music, and he was he was a general, but he also was a bully.
I've heard that. I've heard him described as such before.
Well, like I say, I was the queen, so I wasn't bullied. But like when young Rasta brothers would come, some young Rasta brothers, they came from, I don't remember which of the small islands, but one of the smaller islands, right? And boy, he really gave them, I felt so sorry for them. I used to sneak them food because if they didn't do what he told them, he would dump out all the food. He would eat, say, Queen, here's her plate. And I'd be eating my food. He dumped the plate out, dumped out the whole thing. So I would feel sorry for them because, it was rough. It wasn't so easy for us now. And, they were young brothers, like
Yes.
17, 18. Yeah, he was rough. He was a bully. But he also, like I said, he was a general. He was a general and he stood up and it was through him and the relationship because there was a time when Rollins gave money to the E.W.F, the 12 tribes of Israel. Yeah, Daddy Bosco and them. I don't think no, the Baba Shanti wasn't there yet. They weren't there then. Right.
Okay.
When he gave that money. He gave money to them. Uh, some of them bought taxis, but E.W.F with Big Dread, they got land. All of them got some land, and he planted food, and they got a headquarters. So he was really, serious. And
Yes.
even the address that the local in Ghana uses to this day was my address in Ghana. That when I left Ghana, I gave them that address. But I wasn't like I said, I wasn't a federation member. I just turned it over to the Rastafari.
Okay. What's that address?
Oh, but it was post office box uh 0799
Okay. Okay. Also, big up.
Right. And how
Um,
I found out, when I was I think I was organizer because I was also the uh, international organizer of the federation. So one day they was, fill out some papers, and I saw the post office box 079902. I was like, oh, that was my post office box. And so I think it's the president now of the federate of the local. He's either the president or the vice president of the local in local 24. He remembers when I gave them the post office box. He said I was just a youth. I came there with Big Dread, right? So, and every time I would come to Ghana, Big Dread would tax me, right? Whether I was a federation member or not. He would say, well, okay, you got to pay You got to pay your dues, Queen. He would end up coming to see me by day 2 or 3. He's coming, right, with nice fruit. You know, I like the mangoes and everything. And I know why he was coming. And I have his envelope, right. But like I said, he was a bully, but he was a general. He got
Okay.
things, he got things accomplished.
Well, give thanks for that history. Um, when did you become a member of the E.W.F?
I think it was 204,
Okay, so
2004.
way down the line, way down the
Way
line.
down the line. So, I have a lot of history in between that time because, I've promoted shows with, let's see, I've had Burning Spear. I've
Wow.
had, I've done Muta Baruka. We've done Ross Michael and the Sons of Negus. Who else?
Legendary
Uh,
lineup.
right. So, not these were different shows. They wasn't all at one
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yes.
And
But where
right.
was this? This was in America or in
Yeah, this
Ghana?
is in America, in Brooklyn. Right.
Okay, okay.
And we had special kind of shows. We was family, the flyer would say, uh and in Ghana, I've done this in Ghana too. Uh Bring your family and leave the pink girl home.
Hmm.
So they couldn't come in with the pink girl. Right.
Hmm.
So yeah, and we had some really good shows. And some of my philosophy in the early days in my stores also was I didn't sell culture to pink people
Hmm.
because I felt that the pink people they they try to buy everything. They think they could put a price on everything. So my people were not totally ready for some of the culture. So if they bought it all up, it wouldn't be there for them. So I didn't sell to them.
Wow. And
And anyone that knows me from those days, from those days, the early days of Rastafari for me, I was in an organization with Dr. B. We were in a Rastafari. We were the Rastafari organization that brought the elders from Jamaica. There was 75 of us. Right.
okay, okay.
Right. We were the ones that brought that
Did
first
did
brought the elders.
did you ever get a chance to visit Jamaica?
Oh yes. Okay, I went to Jamaica after I started going to Africa. And
Okay. What was the first trip?
Jamaica, and
I
I
talked to one
visited.
of your brethren in Jamaica today. I talked to one of your brethren today in Jamaica, and he told me that he knew the eye when the eye was in the early days. I'm gonna see if you mention his name.
Oh, okay. So where? Brooklyn
No,
days?
in Jamaica, when you went to Jamaica, you met him
When
in
I went to
Jamaica.
when I went to Jamaica in the early days. Who was
Yes,
that?
is a brethren that you met when you went to Jamaica.
Wow.
Rastafari elder now.
Well, maybe it'll come to me because as you get
Yes.
older, you remember more.
Does the name IRV ring a bell?
Oh, Russ Ivy.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh, of course. And with the Federation. And okay, so don't just mention Ross Ivy. You got to mention Ross Ibo too.
Yes.
Right, Ross. That. Ross Ivy is my brethren, right? I will say my brethren, but Ross Ibo, the brother. No, that's my brethren. Brethren. Even South Africa. We are tried. He's in South Africa now, still now, with the best roots, right?
Yes.
And even now we call each other every once in a while, check on each other because ones are transitioning. So appreciate love.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
word sound. So yes, I.
So
The whole,
describe your first trip to Jamaica. What was that like? And what year was that?
I don't even know, because I would say that I went to Ghana, that I spent a lot of time in Ghana. I went to Jamaica. I enjoyed it, but I wanted my Africa. I was like, oh no, I'd rather be in Africa. This is like a little Africa. I'm used to the big Africa. So, I didn't really start traveling to the Caribbean, to different parts of the Caribbean, till after I had touched the shores and been to maybe about 6 or 7 countries in Africa. So I had the Africa fever.
Yes, yes.
It makes you have a fever.
What were some of the other African countries after Ghana that you traveled to?
Okay, so like I told you, the first time we went to Ghana.
Yes.
Burkina Faso then was known as Upper Volta.
Yes.
We went to the Ivory Coast. We went to Benin and Togo.
And that was all in 75. That was all in the 75 trip.
That was all in the 75 trip.
Yes. And then the next time
in the 76 trip, we stayed in Ghana.
Yes.
The 76
and then the next time that you went to Africa was when?
We went to the different regions though.
Okay. And
we had been to the Upper Volta, the Akasambo Dam, Cape Coast, Tamalea, Bogatanga, all of that on the second trip. We went, which we went to a lot of those places too, on the first trip. Right. And then since that time, I have been to, I guess, Kenya. Besides living in Ghana, I lived 7 years in Azania. Some people say South Africa, but it's Azania.
Yes.
And I've been to Gambia. I have a brethren, a 40-year, more than 40-year friend there. And he just went through a horrible experience there in the Gambia, as you know. And so Gambia, Senegal, Mozambique, let's see, what's that? It's called it was called Swaziland. It's now called Eswatini. So I've been there. What's that other one? Zimbabwe. Right. So so I moved around a little bit.
Wow. What's your favorite country?
Azania.
Okay. Give us a South Africa journey.
Okay, so South Africa journey was Federation. 4 Federation offices. We went there for.
Okay. You're in Federal. Oh, okay. Stick up in. Let us get the E.W.F. Journey first. How did you become a member of the E.W.F.?
Baba Rashan, Sundial, Mama Tradition.
Big up Mama Tradition. I have to get Mama Tradition on this program too.
Mama Tradition and Arthur Reynolds, Ross Gabry. So I became a member first 2004.
Yes. Right. Which local?
Local 27. Best local. It was an economic local. Yes. We were business people. Most of us.
Yes.
And 2005, I became the president.
Okay. Of Local 27?
No. Local 27, I became the vice president.
Okay.
I became the international vice president 2005. That was the first time.
Okay.
So I've been the president of the federation, I think 3 times. And then I think one time I was the vice president. And Ras Mora was the president. And then I also was the international organizer.
Okay.
Which was my favorite position.
That was your favorite, the international organizer?
Yes. It's the most powerful position. Or it can be.
It can be because you get to interact with all the different locals.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So take us again to your trip to South Africa. And what year was it?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember what year it was. I'm not good at that year thing, but let's see. 205. Oh, and I didn't mention Ethiopia. So
Okay.
I think we had a convention in Ethiopia. What year was that? I don't know which came first. Oh, I know which came first. The convention. We had a convention in Ethiopia, and that's when I became vice president, and Ross Moore was the president. Yes,
Okay.
and I stayed there. I stayed there 3 months after the convention. I met one of our members from Local 27, Dave Judah, was doing a show with Luciano and Mikey General. And I stayed to organize the Shashamani show. And the brother named, his name then was Nkrumah, but his name now is Kip Ezekiel. He organized the show in Addis Ababa. So that show was first, Addis Ababa.
Okay. Big up Kip Ezekiel. He's been on this platform as well. Big up yourself,
Yes.
Kip Ezekiel.
Fantastic brother.
Yes.
So, so we worked together. You know, that's where I first met him, was organizing the show. So, okay, so that was first. That was Ethiopia. So maybe it was the next year. It was either the next year, maybe the next year we went to Jamaica, to St. Anne's for convention. Then I think the year after that was South Africa. So we were 4 officers. Myself, the president, Dave Judah. He was Dave Judah also is a member of the 12 Tribes of Israel, as well as he is a member of the Ethiopian World Federation. Dave Judah, and who spearheaded the trip was Ras Tafari, who was the president of, I don't want to say the wrong local, but I think he was the president of Local 32 in Jamaica.
Okay.
And the executive secretary, who is currently our executive secretary, Walete Gabriel. So 3 of us, we left from New York. It was Dave Judah, myself, and Ras Tafari. We traveled to the UK.
Big up
where
Ras Tafari too, same way. He's been on this platform. Yeah.
So we traveled to the UK, where we picked up the secretary, and we went to South Africa. The trip was planned for 2 weeks. Right. The secretary was only going for a week because her mother was in the hospital, very sick. Right. So, okay, so we go to South Africa. And the reason why we went to South Africa was there was a reggae show there. It was called Mwambisi. And Mwambisi was 12 bands, live performances, and 12 sound systems. Continuum, right. And we went to see if it would be, feasible for us to get involved. So, so we went there. The first thing that I enjoyed, first first day when we got there like the day before, and then that first day, of course, it was around the clock, like for 24 hours. So I'm going from stall to stall, and there's bags of cannabis, big jars. So I was I was like in Wonderland. And Olete Gabriel, I didn't call her Sister P. She said, "You can't even stay in the booth." I said, "After I find a good thing, and some food. I'm going to come back and then you can walk around. So I did. And that's how I met a lot of people trying out, buying little samples, trying them out. And then, that's how I met a lot of different ones.
Yes,
So
yes.
after, like I said, we were there for 2 weeks. So after about 10 days, we were staying in Paul, which is about 40 miles from from Cape Town. Right. Uh, yeah, from Cape Town. And Paul is also where Mandela was released from prison.
Okay.
Right. So we were staying in Paul. Now, mind you, like I said, we came about the to see if it was feasible for us to make it like a sun splash. So after 10 days now, by the way, another family member, so Walete's father became ill, so she also had to leave. So Walete's gone, and now I tell the brothers, Ikula and Dave Judah, that I'm not going back. And so now they're trying to, they don't want to leave me, you see. No, Queen, Empress, you need to come back and then you could come back again. I said, that don't make no sense. I'm here. I said, and I know this is my place. I said, I've been to other places, but this is like familiar. It was like I knew the place. So I said I would, I didn't want to leave. So I didn't. They left. They arranged for me to stay with a family. So I stayed with the family. They had 3 children and myself, and I stayed in Cape Town about 6 months. Right. But me, I'm not really a Cape Town person because of the Cape Town have separated our people as to like how we call them red bones, right,
Yes.
in America. So they're called colored and black and colored and black. And colored do not think of themselves as black.
Okay.
Right. And because in apartheid, it was white man, then under the white man was the Indian, then under the Indian was colored, and then under the colored was black.
Okay.
So after, so-called after, because apartheid really never ended, but after so-called apartheid, it switched that it was now white, yes, Indian, black, and then colored. Right, because the government is now, well, one of the governments, because South Africa really has 3 governments, but one of the governments was black. So I really didn't like the colored business. That they didn't really think of themselves. They don't really think of themselves as black. And like here, our people are sick all over the world,
Mhm.
not just in one region. So a lot of our people prefer to deal with white people rather than to deal with their own. So even we can see that in Azania, it's only a matter of time before they elect a white government if it keeps going the way it's going.
Yes.
And felt familiar. So came a time since my Azania tribe that I met a brother online. Okay, so I was into Moringa. I've been into Moringa for years. In fact, my email address is Moringa Queen.
Yes.
So my 40-some year friend, more than 40 years because since the 70s, um, he sent me some moringa from Gambia. But in Gambia, they don't call it moringa. They call it never. Never, never die.
Mm-hmm.
Not never, but never. So I called it never die. So I used to sell moringa. I was one of the first ones in New York to sell moringa. Right. And one day, Baba Rashan, he called me on the phone and said, come on up here. There's something better than your never die. Right. So the sister had come from Nigeria and she had moringa. And so then when I looked at it, I said, oh, it's never die. It's the same thing. Right. So, okay, so I got off a little, take me back to the train.
Yes, you're in South Africa. You're telling us you moved from
Oh,
Cape Coast.
okay,
Where did
so
you
yes,
go from
so
Cape
I
Coast?
met the brother online and he was opening a moringa farm in Durban.
Okay.
Right. So I told the family that I was going to Durban to the opening of the farm. So they said, okay, that's good. So one day before I'm going, they asked me, say, where did I meet the white man? How did I meet the white man that I'm going to the farm? I said, it's not no white man. So I say, it's an Indian? So I said, no, it's a black man. Oh, no, you can't go by yourself. Oh, no, no. Now, this is black people, right. So they didn't let me go by myself. They sent me with, one of the wives at where I was staying. She went, and then another one of the sister and rest her soul that she recently became an ancestor.
Okay.
Right. So we went to Durban, did an opening in a farm, and I spoke. The white man who was there at the black event. He didn't kind of like what I said, but yeah, I spoke, and that made me move to Durban because now Durban is blacker, right? So I left Cape Town and moved to Durban. And I stayed in a place. What is the name of that place? Anyhow, I stayed in an apartment building. I have paid on the water. I paid $300 a month. I think I lived the ninth floor, wooden floors. Really, it was really a nice apartment.
Okay.
But they had some crazy white rules. You couldn't have. They told you how many people you could have in your house, even your apartment, to visit. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. You could only have the most three. And the most you could have to sleep over is one. Now, Empress did not go for any of that. Right. So I didn't stay there that long. Right. And what got me out of Durban, what moved me out of Durban was the Indians.
Oh.
So the thing about Azania is any company, any big company you could think of in America is there. The malls are designed after American malls. The highways are better than American highways. If you was a meat eater, which I'm not, the meat is better. The the cannabis is better. Right. So what got me out of Durban is I'm online to get on the bus. I don't remember, was it the Greyhound, because the Greyhound is there, double decker, serve coffee and tea and everything. But I was online. I was about number 5 or 6 in the line, and the sister comes with the little stand to collect the tickets. So when she puts the stand down, about 15 Indians come running out of nowhere to the front of the line. So I asked the sister in front of me, what's going on? I said, what's going on? And she said, they don't like to wait online. I said, what? So I made an announcement that the people that was in front of me, it's about 4 or 5. If you want to let the Indians, them people, we're in Africa, I told them, this is Africa. Do you think you could go to India and you could run in front of them in front of the line? I said, so if you want to let them on before you, well, then you got to get out the way because they're not getting on this bus before me. So I went to the front of the line and I got on the bus. Right. So when we stopped at the first stop, a man said to me, he said to me, oh, they really needed that because they let them do that to them all the time. Just like we let the cracker do things to us, you know, here in America. And we don't
Yes.
say anything. So like I say, our people are sick all over. Right. So I had a couple of more things happen in the supermarket. They do the same thing. So, you know, I knew that if I stayed in Durban, I was going to either end up uh, in jail, beat up, or dead.
Okay.
So then I went to a Kwanzaa. Sister took me to, invited me to stay by them. It was a couple from the South. I don't remember exactly where they were from, but I met them there in Azania, and they invited me to a Kwanzaa in Joburg, and that was it. I was like, oh yes, this is my cup of tea. Now this is like Harlem and New York, all rolled into one.
Okay.
So I ended up in Joburg. Joburg is my favorite place. Right. Me, I'm a ghetto girl. I like to be around the black people. You know, the real black people. See, and the thing about Joburg is everybody's there. So, you know, and there's so many Rastas. So I got to deal in Joburg, you get to deal with Rasta from all over the world. Senegalese Rasta, right. Mozambique Rasta, right. Rasta from Ghana, Rasta from America, Rasta from Trinidad, Rasta Chesa had a store in Joburg, right? So from all over the world, and I was, you know, also I'm a market woman, so and an entrepreneur. So I set up in the market, in Azania. I managed a vegetarian restaurant in Azania. You know,
Okay.
I sold Kali in Azania. So that's my, you know, I love the rhythm, and you
Yes.
know, I love the rhythm. The rhythm is, it's a lot of love. It's rough. It can be rough. I remember the restaurant man told me one day, say, "Boy, Mama, Mama, you are something else. Things that you would do here in Joburg, I would never." Right. So I got to tell you a story about Durban because we left Durban, but
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So one day because I was working. The brother who launched the Moringa company, I ended up working with him and his family, his brother. Who we are still very good friends, me and the brother. And I made the line of products right for them. So this particular day, they were talking. You know, we're looking out the window, and she's showing one of the workers is showing me, say, "Mama, come here. I want to show you who these rough boys." Right. So outside, she's pointing them out outside the window. You see that one and that one, and she said, "This one. You see that one, Mama? You got to be careful when you go out." Right. So now me and her, we go out at lunchtime, right? So we go out at lunchtime. Then when we come back, she says to them, "Mama knows all the bad boys." As soon as we went outside, all of them holler, "Empress, Empress, Mama, Mama." And then they said, "Mama, how do you know them?" I said, "Listen, I'm from the hood." The first people you know and you get to know is the rough boys. I said, when I'm coming home late at night after I've been to a party or so, and I got to walk from where you get out of the bus to my house, I need somebody to walk me home. I said, they walk me home. They carry my pocketbook. I said, I get them something to burn if I have. And I tell them, don't rob old black people. I won't put the rest of the sentence of who to rob. Right. But you
Yeah.
can get the idea.
Yeah.
So, yes, that wherever I learn, I'm not, you know, you can't be afraid of your own children. Those are
Yeah.
our children, no matter where. So, no matter where I am, I always, and what age I am, that's the ones that, because that's our future. Can't be afraid of our future. So, yes, I knew all the, you know. And then going back to Joburg now, Joburg is good to me. So this same man, he said, you walk where you walk to the bus or to get the taxi at. Why do you walk there? Take a taxi home. I was like, no, when you walk, it's that rhythm again, the rhythm, the black people, the of the different countries, Malawi. Yes, the brother who owned the restaurant, he was from Malawi, right? A son, right? He was a son. He became a son, and when I brought Dr. Umar there, because I did bring Dr. Umar there, I met Dr. Umar at an event in the States.
Okay.
Actually,
Yes,
my kin.
you're very close with Dr. Umar.
Oh well, let me tell
He
you that
he
story.
calls you his elder. How did that come about?
Yeah, I'm very close with him. Okay, so um, the Kingman took me to see Dr. Umar, and I was really interested because he never took me to see any man. So, listening to his philosophies, and how he was talking, and I was set up that day in the lobby. He came up to my table and he brought some moringa capsules, and we started talking, and his energy felt familiar. So I asked him when was he born, and he said August 21st. And I said, well, wait a minute, just a minute. So then I went and got the Kingman and told him, say, ask Dr. Umar when he's born. So he said, oh, I'm born August 21st. And he said, oh, that's when she's born. Okay, so let's turn ahead to South Africa 2 or 3 years later. And a Federation member, I asked a Federation member, Lawrence Davis, who was one of my best friends, what do you think, do you think Dr. Umar would come to South Africa? So he said, ask him. So I was like, okay. So I wrote him on the Facebook on the Facebook. And I asked him, say, would he come to South Africa? How much would he charge? And he said, a ticket, right? A 2-week tour. And, we're responsible for the tour. He didn't say he was going to charge to speak or nothing, which he didn't. Right. So I was excited now. So I went ahead and since I wasn't from Joburg or I wasn't from Azania, I touched on different groups that were there. And so we were planning for the Dr. Umar, and there was no money. So one of them came, they had a meeting, they called me to the meeting, and they said, well, Mama, we think we should wait till next year because there's no money. I said, wait till next year? He's not charging. All we have to do is get him here. So they backed out, every one of them. So I came over here to the States and hustled and paid for my ticket and his ticket. And I returned to South Africa maybe about 5 days before he was due to come. Still no money. Okay, so 2 days before he was due to come, someone who wanted to have an event, he came and he paid for his event. And he says to me, Mama, how many people have paid? And I said, only you. So he said, how are you gonna do the tour? And I was like, I don't know, but it's gonna get done. So now, okay, so I had to book Dr. Umar's ticket. So in booking Dr. Umar's ticket, I already knew that we were both born August 21st, right? But now in booking his ticket, I needed to know his date of birth. So as I told you, my date of birth is 1947. So if we turn the 47 around, we get 74.
Yes.
Which is Dr. Umar's.
Okay.
So when I booked that ticket, I knew that this was bigger than both of us, that we were just tools, because that's not something that just happened. So that same brother that paid for his event, he said, okay, could I call you tomorrow? I'll see what I could do. So he called me the next day and he asked if him and his wife could travel with me and Dr. Umar, and he paid for everything. And I said, oh, of course. You're welcome. So now all those people that backed out, they were ready to come back in. But I told them that the train had already left the station. So I told you I was managing a restaurant. So the restaurant owner, he paid for everything in Joburg. Even one time we went to the restaurant, and I felt bad that they're paying for everything, and I made the mistake of pulling out money to pay for the dinner. Well, after the dinner, and we dropped off Dr. Umar, he said, Mama, don't you ever do that again. And I said, his name is Gray. Ross Gray, what did I do? Don't you ever pull out any money to pay for anything as long as you're with me. Well, he
Right.
didn't have to tell me that again. Right. So that was the first time that Dr. Umar came. That was 2 weeks. And then the next time he came, which was maybe, I don't think it was the next year. I think it was 2 years. It was a month. Oh, it was a month of Dr. Umar, which was a lot. So we traveled everywhere. I mean, we went to different cities. We traveled. He had been there before, if I remember, but not to, the ghetto. This was Rasta bringing him. So this is,
Yeah.
this is different. He went to the Bingy House in Cape Town. He went to the Bingy House. He went to the Bingy in Joburg and Yeovil, which is Yeovil is Harlem. So that was where the restaurant was that I worked. So yeah, so he went everywhere, and he went also to the top echelon places too. I mean, the top notch places. So yeah, it was good. So he said the first time he had ever gotten 1 million hits was when he was in Azania. So even now, I'm planning on very shortly going to Ghana, which I haven't been since 2002, and with a stop in Nigeria. And doctors asked me to arrange for him to come to Nigeria because he hasn't been there since 2008. So we've had some, good experiences. He comes. He's been to Martinique, not Martinique, Guadeloupe. Came to Guadeloupe twice. So yes, so that's part of our.
What do would you say as an elder that people need to know about Dr. Umar? I know there's a lot of controversy around the school and different things, but what has the eye seen as a Rastafari elder about Dr. Umar?
Okay, so something he said in Azania was he doesn't he doesn't do it to teach. He does it for Black people to feel good about themselves. And when he talks and interacts, when it's done, when he's finished, Black people feel good. And Black people need to feel good about themselves because we don't feel good about ourselves. Now, I did along the journey here leave out that, for 50 years, was over 50 years, I've been self-employed since the 1976 was like I said, I was co-owner of my first store. So, my first store was Boutique Africa, and then I'm well known for Africa House. We had African Marketplace. We've had the Buy Black Food Center. So I've had different businesses, Brooklyn, Harlem, and any country I've been to in Africa, I set up at the festivals. Ghana knows me for setting up at 10-day festivals, and that's Daddy Bosco when he always says, "You coming to set up, Mama?" Yes, I'm coming to set up because that's how you meet the people, and
Yes.
that's how we interact and exchange money, which is what we need to do more often. So, yeah,
Key,
that's my
key.
thing.
So in terms of Dr. Umar, you think he's genuine in his
Yeah,
determination?
I would say this because I told him, say, his only problem is he loved women. That's his weakness. Women. Right. But then, the sisters come half dressed. They come half dressed, the breasts hanging out, the thing falling off, slit up, so they come with a story. I gotta say he's like Dr. Savy. Dr. Savy Dr. Savy was one of my customers. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, no, Dr.
When was
Savy,
the
long
first
time
time you met
before.
Dr. Sabi? Talk to us
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
so I know the people that first brought Dr. Savy to the States. From Honduras and St. Croix. He was first in St. Croix, and then they brought him here. So Dr. Savy called me Roadrunner. So Dr. Savy have 20 some children. Out of the 20 some children, only two women have two children. Right.
Wow.
And Dr. Savy would say, I would tell him, say, "Oh, Dr. Savy, you're a dog." Right. And he would say, "No, the women, they come and they say, they say, here it is." And he said, "I'm a man. I'm going to take it." Right. So, so I have to say that Dr. Umar might be a student of Dr. Savy.
Dr. Sabi.
Right.
Yes, I
But
would
he's
do.
genuine. I say he's
Yes, yes.
genuine.
I think he needs a team to help him execute the school vision. He
Okay,
needs.
so the school thing, right?
Yeah, he needs a
Okay, so
team around him.
being the same, like I say, we have a lot of similarities, right?
Yes.
So we're not good at delegating,
Yes.
right? We're not do. I mean, I'm just really, like, okay, so like I would tell you that it's been a pleasure to meet the current president, right?
Yes.
You understand? You understand
Yes.
because
Yes.
you know the current president. So we're not really good at delegating because we want to see the thing come through. And if your mind isn't at a certain place, we don't want to leave it to you. So he has to be able to reach the place of delegation, and he has to be able to have a strong team, right?
Yes. It's
That
key.
he can trust.
Key.
Right.
Key. You can't build a school without a team. So.
And he also needs a good wife or wife.
Yes.
He
Yes.
says,
The
right.
type of work that he's doing, he needs a queen with him. So those are things that I know the eye has been counseling him, and I would just encourage the eye to hammer that point home.
Right.
As a
But we
Rastafari.
also have in common that we don't listen.
Okay.
So, right. Now he might not admit it, but I admit that we have trouble, listening. We listen after the fact, like
Yes.
I would say that my mate used to say that all the time. You don't listen.
Yes.
But later on that we don't listen, it hit us in the face.
Well, I'm glad that he has the eye as an elder to put that voice in his ear, about team building his team and delegating. This is a lesson for everybody watching live, because we have a lot of leaders watching this. This is a lesson a lot of us have to learn how to delegate, how to identify competent people who can help us to execute our vision, because we can't do it alone. Collective security is really not just a catchphrase, is really the only solution to the challenges that we face. You know, His Majesty stood on the world stage for this principle of collective security for a reason, as the Almighty. So we have to work together. Inity is the accepted goal. What a history. We've gone all over the map. I want to talk about, because we're a little over time, but everybody knows that this is an epic, classic episode. So we have to touch some of the less well-known countries that you've gone to in Africa. Talk to us about, some of the lesser-known countries and what was your experience in those countries.
Well, another country that I really liked it's called Eswatini now, which it was called Swaziland.
Yes, what was
It was
that
called
like?
Swaziland, but now it's called Eswatini, and it's still ruled by a king and his family, right? And the king and most of the people in the Eswatini grow cannabis.
Okay.
Right. Oh yes. So I like there. And it's just right next to Azania. So I liked it. It's real black. Because I'm really into the real black. Sometimes people
Yes.
say, they call me racist, but you can't be. We can't be racist. We
No.
could be prejudiced, but we're not racist, right?
Yes.
So, but from my early experiences with Caucasians and going to the Caucasian school, and
Yes.
how it damaged, I got to touch on this is because so many of the ones that went to school with me that are black, they didn't come out black, right? So it was a sister that we would go to Vend and we would see each other. She's passed now. She was a Muslim. And when we would see each other, we would just hug and cry that, like we made it through, because some
Wow.
of them, they're like Oreo cookies.
Yes.
Right. A lot of them. So I know how the white education has, really affected us.
Like, yeah, the psychological damage.
Right. And we got to hit on that when we talk
Yes.
about the repatriation. Right. But okay, so the different countries. So the Gambia, what drove me to the Gambia was Brother Daoud.
Okay.
So Brother Daoud, in 1978, we repatriated to Ghana. We sent a container, a 40-foot container to Ghana, our two families. Right. So I was here, I was in Brooklyn, and Daoud, my King Man, Daoud's wife was pregnant. 1978 is when we had our first baby born in Ghana, our first child. Right. So he had his daughter born. So container ship, they get notice, say, to come in and pick up the container. Right. So, I'm on this end. So they go to pick up the container. No container. Right.
How much did it cost to ship a container in those days?
Right. How long it took us to gather everything for the container, the packing. I mean, wow. When they left, I was exhausted. It was the beginning that was the first year of a festival that we have in down called Dance Africa, 1978. Right. So the container never came with all of our things in it. Eventually, they all came back. I don't remember how all the things that happened, but a lot of things happened.
So the container was never found. How much did it cost to ship the container?
Oh, you see, this is how many years later, so I don't remember. But we all were, we were cannabis people.
Yes.
Right, we were cannabis people, and we put our cannabis money into the container. We bought everything. We had generator. We had all kinds of things, seeds.
And you never found the container?
No, listen. So now the company we sent it with, right? when we checked now, because Ghana told us that the container arrived. So now when we checked the company was, it came out of Europe. The company went out of business.
Oh.
Right. So we got nothing. No money, no container. Right. So eventually they ended up back here. They ended up coming back here. Right. And Daoud, I think maybe a year or two. No, it wasn't a year or two because Daoud left when the princess was about 5. Is when he's been in Gambia since she's 5, and she's since now 78. You'd see how old she is. She's in her 40s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. She's 40 some years old. So he's been there 40 years.
Wow.
But anyhow, so he led me to Gambia. We came to Gambia when he was first planting his trees. I remember when he carried 2 water buckets, dig up and plant, pour the water. And he has land as big as 3 football fields. And
Wow.
when you're landing in Gambia, when you're coming down in the plane, it's his land you see because they've deforested everything else. Right. So he led me to Gambia. I liked Gambia. What I liked about Gambia was that Gambia had recently only gotten an army, because Gambia is like this. This is Senegal, and then Gambia comes out of the middle like a E.
Yes, right along the river. Right along the river.
So Senegal had the standing army for the longest time. And so Gambia was real peaceful. What I didn't like about Gambia is that it gets in the wintertime, it gets overrun with white tourists from mostly from Europe, and you get the old dried up white pink women with the young Gambian brothers, and the other way around, the old Gambian men with the young sisters from Gambia. So I didn't like that, and that when they're gone, they act like they can't do anything until they're coming again. So that part I didn't like.
Okay.
And so I didn't go. I think I went back to Gambia maybe one more time, but Gambia was that wasn't my cup of tea. Yeah, but and other places, like I said, so I've been to Burkina Faso once. That was just for like a couple of days.
Yes.
I've been to Togo a couple of days. Well, in I think it was in Togo, they told me that I was French. I think it was Togo. Yeah, it was Togo, because my family name is Sesams, right? Which when I told them my name was Sesams, they said, no, your name not Sesams. Your name is Saisons, right? You be French.
Yeah.
I said, no, I be African, right? But I also know that we come from Guinea, which was under the French regime, and I have a grandson, and he's named after one of my grandsons is named after Sekou Touré. Right.
Yes.
So yes. So yeah, that's pretty much try. Oh, and Ethiopia,
Yes. What was it like? What was it like going to Ethiopia for the first time?
Okay, so the first time I went to Ethiopia was 1992, 100-year anniversary.
Okay.
And I was in Addis Ababa, and it was jumping. Whoa, Addis Ababa was jumping. I didn't go to Shashamane that time. I stayed in Addis Ababa with the Bobashante. The Bobashante gave an event at the National Theater. Now, the reason why I didn't go to Shashamane is there were so many pink girls in Addis Ababa going with my Rastafari brethren that I did not want to go to Shashamane and see that. So I didn't go in 92. I stayed in Addis Ababa. Right. But it was an experience like, okay, so you go to a restaurant for lunch, right? And you're eating lunch and I went myself and I stayed at the Ross Hotel. And so you go to a restaurant to eat, and maybe it's two of you in there, and by the time lunch hour is over, the place is full of Rasta. So every meal it was like that. And remember now, it's not long after from the dirt, they had been hiding anything that said Selassie. Well, I came with Selassie watch, Selassie T-shirt. I had Selassie everything, and so I'm set up at the National Theater. Oh, that was really an experience. Selassie calendar, Selassie cup. Yeah, so that made the indigenous Ethiopians come out with Selassie money and all kinds of things. So it was an experience to stay in Addis Ababa. I also experienced the E.W.F in '92 because they came from that. They were there from the UK, from the US. Empress Madupe was there. I think I remember Mama Moses being there. So there were different ones from that I know from the E.W.F that were young brothers in the E.W.F at that time. But like I say, I wasn't a member yet, but I did experience. I went and picked up two sisters who, they came to stay in the Ross Hotel. It was a good experience. Yeah, it was a real good experience.
So what are some of the lessons learning before we seal up
Okay, yeah. So
repatriation?
okay, so repatriation hasn't occurred yet.
No.
No. Okay, so first lesson is we have to be truthful. We act like we haven't gone through a trauma. We say we know we went through a trauma, but we haven't done anything to heal from the trauma. Right. They say education is the key. But all over the world, we've received pink education. And we have to admit that all over the world, we are a little mentally disturbed at different levels, but we're all mentally disturbed. Right. We seek approval from the oppressor. Right. So now, if we were in our right mind, right, let's just look at a couple of little simple things. If we were in our right mind and the trauma that we and our ancestors have gone through, would we send our children there to be educated? If we was in our right mind, would we ever send them and think that they could get a healthy education? If we was in our right mind, would we take some paper that burns, that they call money, for our resources? Right. If we was in our right mind. Right. If we was in our right mind, and what we receive from that beast, right, would we try then to emanate those people? Right. No. So we have to admit that we're not in our right mind, and we have to take steps to clear that mind. Okay. So first thing first is no African child should be taught by a pink person at any time. There's no way you could get a healthy, because they're going to teach from a pink perspective. And as the song says, they're not like us. Right. So we have to admit that. 2002, I said, was the last time I was in Ghana. Yes? 2002, this is why I'm saying we haven't healed. 2002, there was an association there called the African American Association. I
Yeah.
went to the meeting. I said, oh, I don't belong here. Right. So I didn't go. I left. Then a couple of years
That's with
later,
Dr. Erica Bennett.
this 2002.
Okay.
Same 2002, I went to the Caribbean meeting and I said, I don't belong here. We cannot go home as no African American and no Caribbean because that was created. Those are things that were created. We can't go home as that. When we left home as Africans. We are Africa's children returned home. And unless we return and are accepted on that end as well, because we're sick all over, right? Unless we're accepted as Africa's children return home, then they're going to lump us. And the time is coming when Africa will say, US, we no people with US passports, people with UK passports can't come in. And we'll be lumped with them because we are allowing ourselves to be called things like diaspora. I'm not gonna diaspora, and I don't take no, I'm not no I don't take aspirin. I'm a child of Africa that has returned home. This is how we have to come. We can't come and set up and come as something different, that we're some different people. We are, I have to go to the Constitution of the Ethiopian World Federation. His Majesty gave us an organization called the Ethiopian World Federation. He sent his emissary, Dr. Malako Ibayan. The only two words in the Constitution. There's no Caribbean, there's no African American, there's no Jamaican, no Haitian, no Trinidadian. None of those words. It's only two words: Ethiopia and black. Until we come as one, there will be no repatriation. We still go home, and I commend Habesha because even the event that they recently had there, they had Africans as one from all different parts of the world. We can't, we can't go home how we're going home, right? I asked Brother Oswald the other day, do the African American Association and the Caribbean Association, do they do anything together? He said they support each other's activities. No, they got to get rid of those terminologies. We have to stop using that. That's the only way, because we each on each side of the water, we have thoughts that have been put in our minds about each other. When we come home to Africa, they're not really thinking of us as Africa's children. They're thinking of us as pound, dollar, euro. Right. And when we come home like, oh, Africa, we have to help them. And they don't have this, and they're poor, and this and that. No, they're not. They are not poor. When they buy a house or a car, they pay cash. We get it on time. Right. All the resources are theirs, just they're not controlling the resources. To this day, we are not trading, even in my own, and I say my own, and it's not just my own, it's every Black person that's on this line. It's your responsibility to make the Federation what His Majesty intended it to be. Right. It's the only organization that it is sent, that His Majesty sent an emissary. Is an emissary is one who comes on behalf of. So he came on behalf of His Majesty. It's called the Federation because he brought organizations together under one umbrella. Yes. And that's what we have to be, under one umbrella, one Black people. We have to stop holding on to what was done to us. We have to get rid of that. And it only can happen through education. I commend Habisha again because they're dealt with the food. You can't come home and you haven't grown. There's plenty land in Africa that hasn't, no one's on. And as one of the kings told me one day, that represents us who are not there. So we have to bring the builders that build, not families come first. I've sent back dead bodies. I've received dead bodies from Africa, and I have sent back bodies from Africa. And I guess I was almost a body too. So it's because when we get there, we're on our own. We have to be able to support a community that's there. We can't just talk it. You know, we're on this line now with Lion Talk. I'm sorry, Lion Talk, but I have to talk about Lion Talk. Lion Talk is Rastafari. $10, not a bag. You know what I mean? Come on. We have to support Lion Talk. We can't just talk. We have to put our money where our mouth
Love
is.
it. I love it. Tell them, Mama.
Yeah, so
It's serious because we do have a lot of mental slavery that we have to overcome. We would support Netflix or some other platform before we support our own platform. Then we would complain that we can't see what we want to see, or that our children are watching things that we don't like, but we don't invest in our own platform. And it's very important what you're saying. I think repatriation has to have an economic base, and I don't think we focus on the economic part enough.
well, I got to go to the Federation again.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Federation have locals in different parts of the world. Right. Some parts of the world are buying places, and some parts of the world are selling places.
Yes.
Right. What containers are we moving around? And those other people who don't look like us, they're the in-between person. They come and buy something from the buying place, real cheap. And then they bring it over to the selling place, refine it, right, and sell it to us. But we don't need the in-between person. We need all of us to step in, because many of us, we will point and say, oh, the Federation is not this, or the Federation is not this. But the first line says, we the black peoples, meaning the different kind of black peoples of the world. So it's our responsibility to come inside and let's get it right. We have a history of getting it wrong. Let's not concentrate on that part. Let's get it right. Let's go to the trade. Let's eliminate Mr. China, Mr. India, and Mr. Pinky, right, who eat off of us in our neighborhoods. No, can't say neighborhood, because neighborhood means you own your stores, you own your hospital, you own your schools. So we don't have no neighborhood. In our colonies, we have to make our colonies neighborhoods. And we can only do that when we come together, when we buy from our brothers and sisters on the continent, and when we buy from our sisters from the Caribbean, and when we bring them to the places of the selling places, when we fly from Africa to the Caribbean directly, and we are doing business, then we can come into our own. Until then, repatriation hasn't, it's just we move to another place.
Wow. Powerful, powerful. One of the reasons I joined the E.W.F at this time is because I realized, we don't come to reinvent the wheel. His Majesty established this instrument. And the line in the Constitution that always stands out to I are, well, two lines. One, that this is to save ourselves from annihilation. And we see what's happening globally. And we know that when things break down, every vine will go to its fig tree. They're not going to come and help black people because they never have. You know what I mean? We've fought for every inch And that's one thing that you learn when you study slavery. You know, they love to talk about England fighting for the end of slavery and Europe fighting for the end of chattel slavery, but they don't tell you that they abandoned slavery because of all the revolts and the uprisings and the resistance, and it was becoming uneconomical because I and I were beginning to win, and the tide was starting to turn. You know, we had big rebellions in Jamaica prior to the abolition of slavery in England and in some of the other colonies. So this whole narrative, and this is why I'm so passionate about us telling our own story, because they will make it look like we had European saviors when it was really our ancestors that fought the struggle, and the oppressors had to concede, but the victory is not yet won, and we need structure. We cannot have a resistance without proper structure, and the E.W.F to I is His Majesty's response to mobilizing us who are in exile. And when the other distinct part of the E.W.F Constitution is that it says to carve a place for us in the sun, you know, which is that repatriation. So it's built into the Constitution document that His Majesty forged and sent to us via Malaku Ben, who was also a Howard University graduate like myself. And so um, that's why I joined. And then looking at the efforts of the current international president, Sister Cheryl, who gives so much time and energy and structure, you know, her training as an attorney. And what I love about that sister is that she don't make it about herself, you know. I've seen her take a lot of criticism. I see her take some thumb too in terms of disagreements, but I see how she handles it with poise, you know, and you know always tries to affirm the person with the disagreement, even if she may disagree. And I think that's so important for a leader right now, is that we don't take things personal. It's bigger than all of us, you know, and we really need and even we just had the local 12 election, and it was telling to I that even though I've seen a lot of disagreements, you know, there was no one opposing her renomination as the president, you know, which I think speaks to the leadership. You know what I mean? That everyone is comfortable with how she has been governing within the local 12. And I think that's a very crucial thing because the workers are few, as the I know.
Mm.
So, the I has been one of the counselors. You know, she shares with me that she seeks the I as one of her chief counselors. What advice have you given to the international president during her reign?
Well, like I say, it's a pleasure to have her as the current president because she has, you know, like how you say, she's very, you know, like I would say that I'm not very good in the diplomacy. I'm a fire queen, so you know, like sometimes I things that I see her take, I'll be like, dang, and she talk to them nice too, you know. Me, I would no, I would be fire burn them, you know. So she's really good. And okay, so I have to say one more. I know we've been on here a while,
Yeah, yes.
but
We're gonna seal up shortly.
you know, Rastafari, we are. I would say we have 4 doctor's degrees in reasoning. Right,
Yes.
we good at that. We could reason from sun up because in Ghana in the early days when it's just a few Rasta and we in one room and stuff. We reasoning sometimes 2, 3 days. We not going to bed, you know. We smoking, eating, reason, right. So we are good at that part. Excellent. But now to follow through, and putting your money where your mouth is. We're not
Yes.
good at that part.
And we have
Because
to be, we
where's
have to
our
admit
hospitals?
that. Yes, we have
Where's
to.
our schools? I'm an elder. Now
Yeah.
I'm 78. So me, I want to go to the Rasta house and put in a rocking chair and smoke spliff, get me some mango and thing and eat. I don't want to end up in some bald head place. So, and our children, where's all the schools?
Yeah.
So we're not good in the part of execution. So we need to more concentrate on the execution. We've
Yes.
reasoned it out.
Yes.
Marcus Garvey has laid it out. It's laid out in there's so many books. It's laid out in the Constitution. The book is not very big, right? So it's laid out as to what we need to do. We need to just do it. We have to begin to trust. We don't like to give the next one the money. We're going to say, oh, but Pinky been stealing our money for years. We go to his bank. He don't even give us back our money for loan. So we have to make a shift. And the President Dump, I think that's his name in America, right? President Dump
Mm-hmm.
is right on time. I don't care what anybody say. He's right on time. If we don't get it together now, if we don't come together as one now, we will never come together. This is our time. This is blackness time. Step up to the plate time. Lion talk. Where's the $10? Throw your $10 now before lion talk go off. Throw your $10. No talk. Throw
Yes.
$20. Match
We
the
love it. We
president.
love it. We love it. We love it.
Lion. Throw the money. Say,
we
I
love it.
pledge. You can pledge $20 a month. It's a bag. Most of you on here burned. Come on. Why for bill out things? You can't just talk. And give thanks.
Give thanks for that.
For
give
allowing
thanks.
me to
Yes.
burn a fire today.
Give thanks for the eye coming through. Almost 3 hours of just reasoning and history. And we didn't scratch the surface. This is part one. This is just
3 hours? We've been on
almost,
3 hours?
almost,
It seems like
almost.
an hour maybe.
Almost. But this is part one. Lion Pride, you know how we do it here. We don't just bring people one time. This is the history that we are telling our own story. And this was an epic journey. We had karate, we had comas, we had containers gone missing. We had so much history in this one episode, and there's so much more. We went to South Africa, we went to Ghana, we went briefly into the Caribbean. So much history. So if you love what you're seeing, support the channel. As my elder is saying, become a monthly subscriber. We have a deal. We are giving the Empress Men calendar. We're going to have a raffle. The next 25 monthly subscribers on Patreon, you will enter. You get a ticket automatically. You get a signed copy of my book. And you will get the Lion of Judah jacket. This is for Canada and the US right now. The Queen said, let's keep it to Canada and US right now because of the shipping and thing. We don't want nothing get lost. So if you join in the next 25 people, we're trying to get over 50 so we can start our grant program. We're going to be giving micro grants to people in our community that are doing powerful works, and we're going to interview them and highlight them, and the vote is going to be from our monthly subscribers are going to get to vote on people doing great works. So we want to start that program. We're at 42 monthly subscribers right now, and big up my local 12 family, Sister Joan, Ras Michael, who recently joined as monthly subscribers, husband and wife. Big up on yourself. Really powerful Sister Joan Sparks, who's been a long time local 12 member, long time member of our Patreon. Queen Mother Moses, another one in the bona fide elders, who's been a supporter as well. All of the E.W.F members who are supporting the platform, we give thanks. And I know many more said that they are coming. So we look forward to welcoming our E.W.F family. But you don't have to be E.W.F to support the platform. This is Ras Tafari now saying we are controlling our own narrative. We are telling our own story. We want to get into animation. We want to get into blockbuster films. We want to get into documentaries. We want to get into all form of content that is from a Rastafari worldview, high quality budget and staff where we can compete with everything that Babylon is putting out to brainwash the people. Media is one of the tools that is used to control a people. And if we don't control our own media, then we are not serious about anything. And this doesn't stop because Rastafari media is coming together. We have a collective now of Rastafari in media that have been meeting. We're going to be doing some work around the Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica as our first collective project as Rastafari media. And this has to lead to us owning our own satellites made by Rastafari people. This has to lead to us having our own warehouses with servers. So we have our own section of the internet owned by Rastafari people. This has to lead to us having our own production studios on acres of land where we're filming our own. This is a whole ecosystem that you're watching emerge and rise. So get off the fence, become a part of the solution, and we have to invest in our future. So any final words, Empress Imma, before we seal up to the global Rastafari family?
Yes, final words is come into the Federation, yes. And support Lion Talk and Federation Salute. And give thanks for being able to be here today. I'm giving thanks for life. And let's put our money where our mouth is.
Give thanks. So there you have it. Legendary E.W.F, former president, international organizer, current member of Local 12. And we didn't get the story how you transfer from Local 47 to Local 12. We'll do that the next time. We'll get that story.
27, Local 27.
Local 27 to Local 12. We'll get that story the next time. Yes. We'll do an E.W.F panel at some point as well. So keep it locked. We are here and we're not going to stop. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice.
Greetings, this is Warrior King. And the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the power to chant. Jah give her the power to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
This is Mama Thea of Asli Pure, and when I want to hear the story from the lion and the lioness, I listen to Lion Voice with Ras Tafari Matriarch.
Greetings, this is Ras Shiloh. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the Lion's Voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Ras Shiloh said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the Lion's Voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yes, Jah people, this is Michael Shamai representing. I will say, hear the lion voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Ras Tafari.
Alright, listen to me now, people. The lion roar, no dog bark. See? The lion's voice with Kwasi Bansu. Time right now for the lion to tell his story. See? Listen up.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jah soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial I represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Ras Tafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Yeah, E.W.F steel person. I'm saying hail to lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.